You go to a NoteSchool 3-day class, and then what? Stay tuned. Welcome to this week's edition of NoteSchool TV, where every Wednesday at 11:05 Central Time, we bring you, the most amazing guests as well as the most amazing content. And, absolutely this week will be no different. A couple of favors to ask of you before we get started. Number one, make sure and like this episode. Yep, hit the like button. And also share your comments with us as well. Eddie and I love to read those. We want to see what's going on with you guys in your world. And then also make sure and subscribe to the NoteSchool TV channel if you have not already done so as well. And then number three, hit that bell notification. Yep, just go ahead and hit it so that you will, you'll know when we go live every Wednesday at 11:05 Central Time. Also, if you would like to know more about what we do at NoteSchool, simply go to noteschool.com/TV. Again, noteschool.com/TV. And with that, I want to bring on NoteSchool's founder, our chief visionary officer, all-around good guy, my friend, Mr. Eddie Speed.
Hello, Joe.
Well, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. We just had an unbelievably good event last week, end of the week and weekend with our NoteSchool members. We do that kind of live just for them a couple of times a year.
Yes.
And really was fun and very enjoyable. And so a shout out to all of them that made it home safely, and they're back working some of these tactical plans that we talked about. So
yes,
yeah,
we had a great turnout, a lot of good folks, and a lot of great content as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit in our interview today too.
We certainly will. All right, Eddie, let's talk about the news this week. So the headline is Regional Bank sells multifamily portfolio for $2.9 billion, Eddie. And, Washington Mutual is doing just that. They're selling 2,000 multifamily loans with the current UPB of unpaid principal balance of $3.2 billion.
That's called cleaning your balance sheet up, Joe.
It sure is.
Even when you're selling those loans at a discount. So they sold $3.2 billion worth of loans for $2.9 billion. That means they took a haircut, a $300 million haircut. Call that 90 cents on the dollar or a 10% discount.
That's right.
Not a shocker there. I knew that Bank of America would not have bought those at par. And I'll bet you they're good loans, right? Bank of America wouldn't have bought them unless they're good loans, except they're classified as multifamily. And then, Joe, I think in another bullet in this article that's worth noting is Starwood Capital has now also put multifamily in the bucket with, the target list of office.
That's right. They have. The Fed, Starwood Capital and the Fed has categorized multifamily with office as being the most concerning areas of the commercial real estate sector. And and if you look at the last bullet point there, huge distress cycle coming. So there's a lot to play out here, Eddie.
Well, I want to say this, Joe. Yeah. We've been calling the ball on this for 2 years.
We have.
Right? When people have been said we're crazy and we don't know what we're talking about and multifamily is going to grow to the sky, we've been calling the ball on this. And you can go back and check it out because you can listen to NoteSchool TV market update at the last week of every month for all this time. And we're on record.
We're clearly on record, and certainly we have been. And again, this is just going to continue to play out as we move forward, and we will certainly keep you guys in the loop as we do so. Or as it plays out.
The biggest change right now for us is this is attracting a huge amount of capital to the note space because people that were investing, particularly in multifamily, are looking for alternative investments. That's why this matters. That's why we call the ball.
That's it.
Right? We're not trying to just beat multifamily up. We're trying to understand what's happening in the market, which tells us the flow of money.
And we are seeing that flow of money coming in with NoteSchool investors, student investors coming in and wanting to convert their cash into notes, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
More to come.
All right.
Eddie, I am going to drop off here, and I am going to let you introduce our guest today. Great guy from Colorado. So you guys have a great interview, and I'll see you on the back end.
All right. Well, I am very thrilled today to have Mr. Andrew Metzler with us, and he is I think you're going to really enjoy his story. And so as Joe said, he is from the Denver area. You guys welcome Mr. Andrew Metzler.
Morning, Eddie.
How are you?
I'm well. Doing well.
Awesome. Awesome. So glad to have you. Glad to really get to share a story. I'm going to go through kind of chronicle with you, and then we'll start out talking about the class a little bit, the 3-day class and kind of what that was about. One thing I think is worth noting, and it could be relative to somebody that may be listening, you came to a class initially many years ago.
I did back in February 2015 when we were less gray and a little younger, the both of us.
That's a truth.
Uh-huh.
That's a truth.
So yeah, I got a taste of NoteSchool TV or NoteSchool back then, and just kind of was a hobbyist investor since over the past 9-10 years. So,
well, you know what? The timing became better, the opportunity became better, and you realigned. So then you came back to a class last summer, I believe.
Yes, sir. Yep. Virtual class with Joe last summer, and then really made that decision because it solidified the path that I wanted to take between performing, non-performing, and creative financing. The different techniques that you present in the 3-day class, how you make money on those different paths and methods. But I chose the performing path to start here.
That's good. People will frequently ask me, they say, why do you have a class that lasts 3 days? And I say, well, the truth of the matter is it's a story that you can't tell in a half a day. You got to unpack it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's so many different techniques and ways in which you can structure deals. But really solidifying, the 3 different verticals is important and how you do that.
As the founder of NoteSchool, my vision for the 3-day class is that we show people as much as we can without just completely information overload. And it may be a little bit, intentional that we just pack it all that we can. But we show people these 3 strategies, right? Creating notes, buying performing notes, buying non-performing notes, and we show all these different dimensions of it. And then we are able to kind of lace them up together to see how they, to some degree, tie together. There's some efficiency in tying them together. And so it does me good when I talk to you, Andrew, and you say, this is what gave you clarity, because that's exactly what our mission was.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
So you came to a 3-day class and you attended that. And then you joined our long-term membership. And I want to kind of beat that up a little bit as to far as, we consider our membership to be what really equals to be an apprenticeship, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
So let's talk about that. Like let's chronicle a little bit for our audience what exactly what it looked like for you.
Yeah. So the mentoring and was really what I was looking for. And certainly making a financial commitment to NoteSchool was, okay, I'm diving in with everything. So I wanted to realize the immediate ROI in the investment that I made. So I downloaded the spreadsheets, started doing calculations, watching the various videos, the training videos, and really starting to learn how to do some structuring of deals and that type of thing. Joining the Facebook group was fantastic, where I could start asking those questions. And I found by asking questions like how to and what about, and the classic, yeah, but, your mind solidifies some of those answers, and you're able to get clarity in your own head, so that then you can turn in confidence and start answering questions for other people.
They go from general concepts to very specific applications.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I think. And I tell people that anything about anything that we learn, it's really one thin layer of paint at a time, right?
Correct.
You can't just put 16 layers of paint on at one time, because it's not going to work the same, right?
Right. And you got to let it soak in a little bit and absorb it, and, let the paint dry in your own head.
Yeah. You said something to me that I have always believed about spending a lot of time with people. And that is, there's a mountain of information, right, Andrew? There's a mountain of information, but more importantly, all of that equates to confidence.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. The confidence and being able to run the numbers, but also to speak with some level of intelligence and confidence to passive investors or co-investors, or just, anyone in kind of real estate investing, it really does kind of lift you up. And then you have the mechanics behind being able to talk to people. So that's really what I was looking at.
I would say that I think it's my nature. I think it's the nature of our NoteSchool team to not just say, do this, but we want you to know why you do this.
Right.
So that next time when you're faced with a similar decision, you can measure off some specific data points, or measure off different thought processes. So that's a really big deal to us. One of the things that we place a very big value in membership is these weekly deal labs and the huddle sessions.
Right.
Right. So what does that look like for you?
Well, it's time block in my calendar. I love, showing up to those deal labs, kind of hearing the questions by other investors, and then gaining the information that you're unpacking after 40 years of working in the industry, beating those deals up, explaining why you'd structure them this way or that way. Really just kind of understanding how your mind is working. And typically I'll have my spreadsheet or calculator alongside, and kind of following along, tracking, so that I'm understanding how you're coming to those same numbers and conclusions, and then it, solidifying the answers in my head. The huddle sessions are fantastic every other week. Joe and Wayne do a fantastic job. It's informal, and a little less structured. So it's nice to be able to ask some other questions, or top of mind kind of questions.
Yeah.
And hear what other investors and NoteSchool students are coming up with. So
yeah, the huddle sessions for me are more designed for you. You get to know other students,
right?
And it's more like you're saying, I'm thinking this, or I'm wondering about this. And then if it's appropriate for the deal lab, then they start routing you to the right deal lab and how to position your question so you get the best answer.
Right.
The deal labs are specifically very asset driven. So they're very case study driven, like pull this asset up. What do we do in the circumstances? And what, my heart is a compression of time. It's given you a compression of time. There's nothing that we have figured out, Andrew, you can't figure out. You're a smart guy. The deal takes you to get there.
Plenty of experience in other areas.
Yeah.
But when I joined NoteSchool TV, I wanted the the learning, the knowledge, and the wisdom.
Yeah.
I didn't need more experience.
Yeah. Well, and once again, the compression of time is like you said, I would structure it this way. Could think of 1,000 ways I could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually down to, I've already tested those other 999, and this is the one. And so that's what I sort of mean by compression of time. It just fast forwards you to what pops up in my mind is the top of the list.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yep. So
this is really the next area that I want to ask you about is the thing that honestly I place the highest value in that is NoteSchool community.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
It really means like joining a family. The support and cooperation among members, the Facebook group, providing questions and answers and collaboration is really beyond the value that I imagined it would be. Getting, answers and comments and replies to questions through the community is invaluable. So I appreciate that other members are lifting everyone up and encouraging you, offering and being generous with their time to assist everyone getting there. So.
And, to me, Andrew, this is why that matters a lot. We can get on social media and get somebody's hot sports opinion every day of the week, right? But the question is what's their opinion worth?
Right.
Is their opinion based on information and facts and guidance and training and, understanding, or is it just based on the fact that now's their chance to go, spew their ideas? And so I love the fact that when somebody comes into our community, they're all going down this road, they're implementing things, they have a common base of knowledge,
mm-hmm.
which drastically changes somebody's viewpoint and opinion. So now you're collaborating with people that have all been to the same fraternity.
Yep.
That matters.
Yeah, it just really, solidifies and lifts me up. It helps me continue to gain confidence, do more deals, and it's just generosity of people, lending their time, expertise, and being part of that community is really something I value greatly.
I like it. Okay, so we have two different areas. We've talked about kind of weekly deal labs. Those are virtual. The huddle sessions are virtual, but then we have live events.
Yeah.
And then we're at special events and we're networking and we're having collaboration at the special events. How does that look differently?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, the live events, you get to know people up close, personal, share a meal with them. You get that, trait and personality real much quicker than you'd ever would with emails and Zoom meetings.
No
so
doubt.
I try not to miss any of them. Nathan Turner said a few weeks ago, you do business with people you know, like, and trust. And those live events are really where you're getting to know, like, and trust people.
There's a story that comes out at these events, right? Mm-hmm. There's other people in the Denver area that you now know that are rock star real estate investors.
Yeah.
That you might have never quite connected with them or understood their story, although you live in the same city. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, we're neighbors, and we're neighbors within the community of NoteSchool too.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I deliberately at live events seek out new people that I've not met before, mm-hmm. so that I can sit down at a lunch break or a lecture session and get to know them, see what they're doing, and continue to build my network. So I continue to build my net worth.
So much of this business is a style. You're pursuing the business in such a way it's your style.
Yes.
And when you get to know more about their family and their story and their history, and you start understanding more about their style of doing business, and that really comes out at live events, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You you learn a lot about people over lunch or at the bar afterwards, and it's fun.
All right. We're asked this all the time. We are asked this constantly. Support. If I join a membership, you know, a lot of people have bought other guru training. They didn't get what they thought, or it wasn't how they was. And you know that we put a real emphasis on this, and that is after the boot camp and you go to the next level, what does support look like?
Well, it's unmatched. It really is. I mean, you know, the different aspects of the post, you know, 3-day class, you have the tactical weekly huddle sessions. You have the live events, which are more the strategic 50,000 foot view. Yeah. It just continues to again, raise me up, give me confidence, allow me to do more deals, get more integrated into the community, and deploying different strategies as the market continues to shift. So it is a you know, commitment of time, both for myself and for you all, and that's what I look to on Mondays to get re-energized and continue to network and build new connections for new deals.
Well, I believe that NoteSchool's team, our faculty, I think they have two variables. There is a crazy amount of industry knowledge, right? Our bench is unmatched of people that have done the business and know the business really well for decades, right?
Sure.
That's one thing. But the most thing is their care factor. It's not just me that I care or Joe that he cares. And I think that's hopefully clear, right, to the audience. But yeah. I'm telling you, they're everybody. Like that's a curriculum to be on our team is you have to have a high care factor. And so for me as an owner, I'm saying to you, that means a lot. Thank you, team, because you do care. And it comes through when we talk to somebody like Andrew that like, hey, you guys, you support me because you care, not just as an obligation, but because you genuinely care.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
That's a pretty cool thing to be an owner.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's talk about the NoteSchool community as far as allowing you to mature, allowing you to do that. That's really kind of the cherry on top, right? Because if you're not being successful, I consider us to be a failure at NoteSchool, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about like as we're continuing to do it. Now, what does life look like?
Well, I'm laser focused on just doing notes now. A lot of the shiny objects of fix and flips and or rental properties, you know, has kind of just blurred into the background now. So concentrating on performing notes. I've done now 2 performing notes. In the process of selling my rental property, either on a wrap financing or just selling it outright and deploying that money into I have three more notes for 2024 that I'd like to get put into motion. So
as a summary of our Titanium Mastermind the other day, like the very last part of it, I went around they were broke up into groups. I went around into groups and I says, what's your 90-day plan? And I mean, I look around the room and we got plenty of landlords in there that either own or have owned more than 100 rentals.
Right.
Mega seasoned, selling my portfolio with seller financing, selling my portfolio. So that we have run the math with you guys so much, Andrew, that you own that math and the cash flow is what it is.
Yeah.
I think we kind of agree that between 2.5 and 3 times the amount of net income from a seller finance note versus a rental. Now, once again, that's based on real case studies that you see us run all the time. So it's not just a theory, is that we beat this math up and your math your math in Colorado might look slightly different. Somebody's math in, you know, Birmingham or Columbus, Ohio, but it's going to be way more money. We know virtually every time, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Now I absolutely.
Then what do you do with your aggravation if you don't have to aggravate with a rental? What are you going to do with it?
You know, I probably do a lot more fun things like ski and hike and bike and fly fish, all that kind of stuff.
I'm in for it. I'll come hang out with you and let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. You're welcome anytime.
All right, Mr. Joe.
Great job, guys. Yeah, all of the above. I'll come with Eddie. We'll just bring a group and we'll come hang out in Colorado. So,
yeah.
Andrew, you've been, you know, we were just together last week and, well, a couple of days ago, actually, and got to sit down and spend some time together. And I think that, you know, the part of the community and the live events is just, it's an amazing thing. And, you know, I just love them. I thrive at those things, just seeing all you guys and moving forward, but all of the support. And I appreciate you participating in the huddles and the deal labs, because you always bring a great perspective to that, because you always participate. And that's another thing that, you know, we didn't talk about, and that's participation. You don't just watch, you participate, you get involved. And I love that. So,
yeah, well, thank you for the opportunity, and I appreciate the time and energy that is put into these events, but also just on the weekly calls and huddles. So thank you, gentlemen.
Well, you're very welcome. So, guys, again, there you go. You met Andrew Metzler from Colorado. We appreciate you being with us this week. And, well, it's another episode, another wrap. You all of you have a fun time on Memorial Day this next week, and we will see you for our final episode for May with the monthly update. And my goodness, I've got a lot of stuff to pick and choose for sure. So that'll be next week. Until then, be safe, and we'll see you next week. Take care.